let's talk a little bit more hoops. Most of this conversation coming off of it from George Karl and his new book, and lots of talk about those old Nuggets teams that he had in Denver with Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin, just to name a few. Now, Carmelo, here's what it was. What he said it was like inside that locker room. He thinks that team actually came together, and I guess the question now is, if they didn't have George Karl, do we think the Nuggets could have won a title? Take a listen.
We came together, we stuck together as a team, and that's at the end of the day, that's all we had, out there. And it took us far, not far enough to where we was able to win the championship, but we came together as a team because of all of that.
Wow. So he's talking about getting to the finals, the conference finals in 2009 before they lost to the Lakers. So if George Karl wasn't there, which you think, Karl's not the problem. And now you're hearing it from Carmelo, and Kenyon Martin had some very choice things to say after this book came out, some of these revelations in the book. Do you think the Nuggets would have been better off when they were in their heyday and possibly could have won one if we did some revisionist history?
Not even close.
Ooh.
Not even close. And I'm not so ready because I have not read the book and because I'm not was not in those locker rooms to say that they'd even be better without George Karl. I think of George Karl as a very good coach.
Yeah.
And to be totally honest with you, not really anything to do with the personal side of what the allegations of George Karl's book say about Carmelo Anthony. I agree with what Karl says. I don't think Carmelo Anthony is a superstar of the quality to win an NBA championship. I've never felt that way. He's a one-dimensional player. He's an offensive player. He's a me-first player who's very obsessed with the limelight, hence going to New York, hence staying in New York, all that kind of stuff. Roll out the red carpet for me. He's a me-first kind of guy, and me-first kind of guys tend not to play defense, and not playing defense tends to not give you any rings. So for me, look, this is a bit shocking. I hate when people say, dynamic stuff and big, bold, headline-grabbing stuff just to sell books. It is annoying, but some of the stuff that was alleged by George Karl, I don't necessarily disagree with, and I certainly don't see that crop of talent from Denver, which was a good team.
Yeah.
Not an NBA championship type team. Not even close.
And I do think it's easy now to go back and go, he was the problem. Right. We would have won everything without it. Really? Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know how you get better, what coach you're going to get in there is better than George Karl. Say what you want about the book.
Kenyon was one of those guys too. Kenyon was a guy that was, when he was when you had him, when a coach kind of had him and he was the frontline warrior on the front line for a given coach, he was great, but he could be a little bit of a malcontent as well.
No doubt.
You could say, well, could they have gone further without George Karl? I don't know. Maybe if Carmelo and Kenyon were a little bit more coachable, maybe that could have worked either way. Whatever we know is how it was currently constructed in 2009, it just wasn't good enough.
Didn't work. Lakers.